Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Wednesday, May 14, 2025. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. Today, just over 1,600 grade 6 students across St. Vincent and the Grenadines began their final component of the 2025 Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment, CPEA, marking a significant milestone in their educational journey. At 17 designated examination centers nationwide, students were greeted and supported by their teachers, parents, and guardians who gathered outside to offer words of encouragement before exams began. At several centers in capital city Kingston, SVG-TV News spoke with a number of parents about how they helped their children to prepare for the exams. Parents shared study techniques and preparation strategies, including revision timetables, mock tests, and nightly reading sessions.
Did a lot of work with her. Give her a lot of practice tests. What she get wrong, I went through them slowly with her to ensure that she passed. And I know that she's going to be exceptionally well.
Well, so far he has been doing usual classes, studies, past papers, CPEA papers, all of that. You know, let him get his usual breaks, all of that and so forth. So it can't be burdening him too much because he needs rest. Rest is important. So I just, spoke to him, asked him how was the exam. He said it was good, really good. So I asked him if he had any hiccups, any problems. He said no. So he said that very confidently. So let's just hope for the best.
It's a whole year. So just give your best support to your child. In this case, basically we're giving our time after work, And I know it's challenging. That's some of the challenges I have to deal every time. But I can tell you guys, we can see the results right now. She looks so confident after the exam. And I'm really happy. Because as a daddy, and not just me, I think every parents here, they are very anxious to know what's going on. But I'm glad that it goes through. So my advice to you, always take your time for your child, be there for them, and dedicate almost hours, at least 2 hours, just talk to them, encourage them. This is so important because sometimes we put too much pressure on our child. They don't just need to know that you give courage to go forward.
In addition to sharing preparation strategies, several parents expressed pride and excitement, noting that regardless of the final outcome, they are proud of their children for reaching this stage.
Well, actually, that subject that he just had, that's his favorite subject, which is math, and he does excellent in math. So, yes. And he's a 3-month student also.
I expecting what God has prepared for my daughter. That's my thing, because we know they have a long journey after. So wherever it comes, we accept it. But I know she'll go well.
Parents, don't give up on your children. You give up on them, they're going to end up on the wrong side of the law, and they would be a disgrace to you. If you give up on them, that is the only outcome. If you don't give up on them, you can hold your head up high and feel proud of them in the long run.
A CPEA administered by the Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, is the key standardized test for students completing primary education cycle in several Caribbean territories. It is designed to assess students' proficiency in essential literacy and numeracy skills, as well as critical thinking, problem solving, and application of knowledge, key competencies needed for success at the secondary level. This week's examination comprises multiple course papers in 4 core subjects: mathematics, social studies, language arts, and science. Each subject paper consists of 50 questions and is timed at 1 hour and 15 minutes. These final examinations account for 60% of the students' total CPEA score. The remaining 40% of the final score is based on a school-based assessment, or SBAs, which include projects, writing tasks, and teacher evaluations carried out throughout the academic year. These continuous assessments aim to provide a holistic view of the students' capabilities and learning progress. Results of the 2025 CPEA are expected to be released in June. Following this, the Ministry of Education will begin the placement process, assigning students to secondary schools based on performance, school preferences, and available space. The CPEA plays a vital role not just in academic assessment, but in shaping educational pathways for thousands of young learners across the Caribbean. Prime Minister Dr. Condolences has firmly refuted claims that his government is involved in selling Vincentian passports. Speaking at the news conference on Monday, the Prime Minister reiterated his long-standing position that he has never supported, nor will he ever support, the Citizenship by Investment (CBI) program. Dr. Condolences emphasized that passports are only issued to individuals who apply and are duly qualified under the law of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He stressed that this process does not fall under the category of citizenship by investment, which typically involves granting citizenship in exchange for financial investment.
Individuals get citizenship in St. Vincent, just like they get in those other countries, through these normal processes. That is to say, naturalization. There are countries in the OECS, that provision in 1984 here in this law, which I quoted, about 5 years. You must have the relationship going for 5 years, and you make a significant contribution in cultural and economic terms. And you could apply and be considered, provided you have good character, you can speak the language, English language, and understand the importance of being a citizen of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's not selling passports, because all what happens in those cases, persons would make whatever the administrative fee is, $2,000, what EC, or whatever that number is, not a big number anyhow, to $3,000 EC. That's an entirely different matter. So when you hear that being said, that's an NDP lie. It's a big, nasty, dirty lie.
Addressing recent public concerns, the Prime Minister also responded to questions about a foreign national who was granted a Vincentian passport. He accused the opposition, the New Democratic Party, NDP, of spreading misinformation for political gain.
I see they put up the name of a gentleman who got citizenship like this. He's a big recording artist. He lived in Mustique now for about 20 years.
Adams?
Yes. I mean, he's a citizen of UK and of Canada. He wants to identify this place which he has been living with, and he and his family come and be here. And he's making an important contribution. He's doing work, for instance, in environmental areas and other areas, you know, in economic terms too. How that becomes CBI. It's just, that's just total crap. Total unadulterated foolishness.
When asked specifically about British businessman Dave Ames, a former investor in the failed Bookman resort, allegedly acquiring a Vincentian passport, the Prime Minister again dismissed suggestions that this case was an example of citizenship by investment. He explained that the process through which Ames obtained a passport did not meet the criteria of CBI transactions and should not be categorized as such.
When Ames got his citizenship, there was no allegation when due diligence was done that he was involved in any skullduggery. That came afterwards about the pension funds which were being used to invest. And as soon as his problem arose and he was found guilty, his passport was immediately revoked. But he was around here for over 5 years. No. Vincentians who are born here, they have our passport, they get themselves in difficulty too. So I mean that's you know, so is on the one hand, a fella Ames, he dealt with under the law in the United Kingdom, and that is that. But none of that. The NDP tries to muddy the water with things like that. But those things are not citizenship by investment.
Dr. Gonsalves has consistently voiced strong opposition to the citizenship by investment model adopted in several Caribbean nations. He has argued that the program is not sustainable and poses risk to national sovereignty and international reputation. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Gonsalves has stated that there are currently no visa restrictions imposed by the United States on Caribbean government officials participating in Cuban medical missions. Dr. Gonsalves, who was part of an OECS delegation that met recently with the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, made the remarks during a press conference following his return from the diplomatic engagement. Prime Minister Gonsalves said the United States government has no real issues with the Caribbean region, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
As I understand what has happened, there is one country in the Caribbean, not any country in the OECS, not any of the OECS, had some terms which were not sufficiently clear. Ours are quite clear, and I outline everything. As I understand the position of the American government in its formal statement that they have no problems with the Cuban doctors being recruited to the Caribbean. All they want to make sure, they say that there are no issues of human trafficking and that the money is paid to the Cubans and not to the Cuban government.
He explained that a comprehensive documentation outlining the role and scope of Cuban medical professionals working in St. Vincent and the Grenadines were submitted to U.S. officials. According to Gonsalves, the documents were carefully reviewed and appeared to have satisfied any concerns previously held.
The evidence is clear that in case of St. Vincent and Grenadines, and I think that's the story in almost every other place, that they are at or even in a better position than comparable professionals in the particular field, and we have provided all the evidence, so we don't have any problem. I haven't heard anything further. What came out originally, that if you don't comply, they may take away your visa and that of your family and other officials and so on. And I had made my position very clear on that we don't have any problem, and I don't have any control over any country's visa. Like everybody else, I'd like to travel, to go anywhere I can, either visa free or with ease of getting a visa.
The Prime Minister's clarification comes amid growing regional attention to U.S. policies on foreign medical collaborations, especially those involving Cuba. Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Transport Montgomery Daniel has announced that a new vehicle plate numbering series will come into effect starting June 1st, 2025. The announcement was made during a radio appearance this morning. Acting in the absence of Prime Minister Dr. Gonsalves, who is currently in Barbados attending a high-level meeting, Minister Daniel explained that the new system will apply to 6 categories of vehicles in accordance with the motor vehicle regulations. He noted that the updated numbering format has been approved by Cabinet and signed into law by the Governor General.
As identified that we are at the end of the 999th vehicle series numbers from PA, which is private vehicles. You're now going to have PAA. From RA, you're going to have RAA. From HA, you're going to have HAA and whatever number following. So that PAA would again start from 1 until it gets to 999. And it goes for private vehicles, the rental vehicles, the hired vehicles, the freight vehicles, the farmers' vehicles, and those vehicles within the tourism industry that carries the number plate LCAA.
Minister Daniel added that the revised plate numbering series will now include the letter B and as a prefix for 6 specified categories of vehicles. This update is aimed at streamlining vehicle identification and improving administrative efficiency within the transport sector.
The A series shall come to an end and a new series begin with B. And that shall commence, for example, from PAA to PAB. And at the end of the 999th registered vehicle, a new letter shall be used in alphabetical sequence, continuing through to Z. And so, Johnny P, I just want to inform the general public that as of the 1st of June 2025, this new numbering series takes effect until the series comes to an end. So those individuals who are now going to be purchasing vehicles from June 1st will so have their new numbering system.
In addition, the acting Prime Minister reminded all vehicle owners of the importance of adhering to the new standards for license plate numbers and letters. This includes using approved fonts, sizes, and materials to ensure compliance and visibility. The Ministry of Transport and the police are expected to release further details to guide the public and facilitate a smoother transition to the new system. The Stubbs Polyclinic has been further equipped with a new supply of medical items generously donated on Tuesday by the U.S.-based charity St. Matthias Charity, Inc. The donation was officially received on behalf of the Ministry of Health by Permanent Secretary Nurse Gittins. In her remarks, Gittins expressed gratitude to the charity for its continued support, highlighting the timeless and importance of the supplies for both the clinic and the wider community of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Whatever it is, people are living longer, and as such, we want those individuals who are living longer to be healthy. You don't want to have older people on your hands who can't help themselves, who are not in a position to do anything and are totally reliant on someone else or on the state. Therefore, it means that the health system has to be able to deliver quality care for all individuals from the time of conception unto death. And therefore, each and every one of us has a part to play in that particular system. Thus, you can understand why, for the Ministry of Health, the slogan says, "Your health is a shared responsibility." No one individual, no one institution can do that on its own.
This is not the first time that the St. Matthias Charity, Inc. has contributed to the local health sector. The organization has a history of charitable work in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, particularly in supporting healthcare institutions. Founder and president of the charity, Pastor Robert McBurnett, of Vincentian by birth, shared that he is always proud to give back to his homeland. He noted that the charity, now in its 10th year, was established out of a desire to uplift communities in need.
Since 2012, we donated 8 EKG machines to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This polyclinic is one of the recipients of those EKG machines. We also donated a dental chair to the Georgetown Hospital and a host of other supplies. I normally say to folks, over the years, we did over 14 40-foot containers of medical supplies to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we are looking to continue to work here. We are now focusing on education, so we are looking to assist children in need. We are looking to reach out to schools and community and see where we have children that have challenges in terms of school supplies and uniform, etc. And that's our hope, that we can continue to work for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and continue to work in this country.
McBarnett added that he intends to continue working with the Ministry of Health and is exploring opportunities to collaborate with the Ministry of Education and youth-focused policing groups. The Ministry of Health has welcomed the continued partnership and expressed its willingness to deepen collaboration with the charitable organizations that share the goal of national development and community well-being. The Center for Enterprise Development, Inc., the CED, conducted a 2-day seminar on supervisory management techniques for the private and public sector at the UWI Global Campus. 40 participants from several companies attended the seminar on a Monday and Tuesday, which aimed to provide persons in the supervisory positions and those aspiring to such positions with essential skills and techniques that will help them to function effectively in their roles as supervisors within their various organizations, thereby assisting them to excel in their career while enabling the organization to achieve its goals and objectives. The seminar, which ended today, was designed to cater for managers and supervisors to harness their supervisory skills. In her remarks at the opening of the seminar, training and education coordinator at the CED, Keisha Phillips, reminded the participants that they hold very important positions and that it is essential that they function effectively. The trainer for the Supervisory Management Seminar was Sylvia Williams-Gould. A second Supervisory Management Technique Seminar will be held next Monday and Tuesday, the 19th and 20th of May at the SVG Teachers Cooperative Credit Union from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. Another 40 persons are expected to participate in that training. Acting Prime Minister Montgomery Daniel has expressed condolences on behalf of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines following the tragic death of businessman Stephen King of Greenhill, who was fatally shot at his place of business yesterday. Speaking publicly on the matter on radio today, Daniel described the incident as unfortunate and assured the public that the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force is conducting a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the shooting.
Got a call. I learned of a tragic incident in the Green Hill area where a businessman, one Mr. King, lost his life at his business place. It's so unfortunate that these things do happen. The police is doing their investigation on this matter. It's a matter for the police, and they would continue to pursue their investigations until they can reveal what is the true perspective of that matter. And so I just want to, on behalf of the government, express my sympathy to the King family on the passing of Mr. King. It's not easy to lose a loved one, but these unfortunate things happen from time to time.
The late Stephen King was the proprietor of Kingo's, a well-known appliance and accessory store. The police say investigations into the shooting incident are ongoing.